Welcome, everyone. You have now entered the cosmic radio receptors of KCIW 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. Thank you for tuning into this week's fantastic program. I'm Dr. GiGi, and my co-host is, as always, almost always, Jacques Kepner. How are you today, Jacques?
I'm doing fine. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Doc and Jacques Radio Variety Show. Special thanks to sound engineers. Well, let's see, who's back there? Tom's back in the office, and I see Ray Simon is helping us out. Michael Gorse is here, and of course, Linda Bozak and others are out there listening to this show, and we appreciate all of you. Folks, I'm speaking off cuff and off script a little bit here, but today is a special day in the aspects that I will be stepping down from the Doc and Jacques show for the next 3 to 4 weeks while I return to the University of Missouri in cozy Columbia, Missouri to receive my doctorate in family medicine. Upon my return, the name of the show will be proudly the Doc and Doc Show. Yes, it might be quite a shock that Jacques is going the way of the Kodak camera. That said, I'll be changing my name to Dr. Raider K. I like Raider. That sounds like good, right? As in the Oakland Raiders. Nobody's responding. Or possibly Roland. I like the name Tinder or Tucker because I'm tired of the names Jacques and Wolf and James, Jack, Jackson, Jag, Jimmy, Jack, Jojo, and occasionally Trollop T. I look forward to being back next month. Okay, that said, I want to mention that you are hearing this live show on KCIW in Brookings, Oregon. The same show will be rebroadcast in exactly 1 week from now, each and every Wednesday on KZZH 96.7 FM in Eureka, Humboldt at 8 a.m. in the morning. Get up early to hear it. And then a few hours later at 1 p.m. on my old alma mater, KFUG 101.1 FM in Crescent City, California. So now you know. The Doc and Jacques have your coast covered. Okay, what? I was thinking you'd laugh a little bit more.
Well, I was making the fun joke that next week it's going to be the Doc and Doc joke.
Yes, because let's tell him that because your sister, your identical twin sister,
she'll be here. She's
German-born. We're
both German-born,
and she's a doctor. And she's a BYU professor at BYU. Very good young.
So next time, now you gave the
While I'm
thunder
gone.
away that you're going to be gone. It's not going to be the Doc and Jacques. It's going to be the Doc and Jacques, but it's going to be the Doc and Doc subtitle show.
Rika or Ulrika and Gudrun will be on the show. Two sisters, twin sisters, reunited after a long time. I can't wait to hear it. I'll be listening to you from Mid-State Missouri during my graduation.
Yeah.
I'll still be tuned into it all and really looking forward to that, okay? So listen, everybody, to meet her sister next week. All right, what medical marvels does my German multilingual medical doctor, hospice director, 3-time patent-holding scientist, and university professor have for us today on this week's health segment of MDGG?
Okay, well, today we're going to be talking about cholesterol.
Cholesterol?
Yeah, because it's really interesting. So cholesterol, if you look at it, is kind of a waxy, slimy substance that plays essential roles, big, fat, important roles in the body. Its primary functions include...
Wait, I've had to quit smoking marijuana recently because my cholesterol was getting way too high, doctor.
Oh, now I get it way too high.
Okay, she gets it. Germans. She's a little slow in that, but she's super smart. All right, tell us about the primary functions.
Okay, so one of them is cell membrane structure. So all our cells are surrounded by a so-called cell membrane, and a major part of that is cholesterol. So it's a key component to the cell membranes. If we didn't have cell membranes, we wouldn't be alive at all.
Okay, got it.
The other one, we were actually going to talk about this more in detail, hormone production. Cholesterol is a precursor for several hormones, including sex hormones, as in testosterone and estrogen. That's the one that we were going to talk about, but I think
next week you're going to...
I think next week we're going to talk about physical therapy, so never mind. But cholesterol, I think, is more challenging and fun to think about. So anyway, testosterone, estrogen, and vitamin D. Vitamin D is actually a steroid-related substance. So men and women make testosterone, estrogen, both.
Okay, I'm speaking off the cuff. Why does...
Off the cuff?
Off the cuff. Why does cholesterol have such a bad rap? Everybody's thinking, it's that LDL. Oh, that's bad cholesterol.
Well, let me finish my little thingy,
please,
and then we'll talk about why it is such a baddie right now. So I was still with testosterone and estrogen. Estrogen is made from testosterone.
Oh.
So, and it starts off with cholesterol.
Okay,
Interesting.
Where should you live in New York City if you have high cholesterol, doctor?
Where?
Staten Island? She laughs. This is always a good sign.
Statin.
Okay, what about this bile acid synthesis stuff?
Give me a minute.
Okay.
All right. So, also important for bile acid synthesis. He's reading my script. So, the liver uses cholesterol to produce bile acids. So now you're saying, well, what are bile acids? Bile acids are essential for fat digestion and nutrient absorption. So if you think about fat droplets or little fatsicles you cannot dissolve them in water or in any polar solvent such as water. So bile acids surround the fatty thing, and then they hold it with their hands, and their feet are polar. So that's how they that's how they dissolve the fat into a watery solution. That's how our soap works, for example, as well. So that's how.
Okay, sounds kind of technical.
No, and so then they take it up, and then it can be taken up by the liver. Usually everything goes to the liver if it's fat soluble. There it goes. So it's like a detergent of the fatsicles.
Wow. Speaking of detergent, do you know why the Greeks hate the sunrise, doctor?
Yes.
You do? It's because dawn is tough on Greece.
Okay, it's also important for the transport of lipids.
All right.
So here goes your bad rep part of it. Cholesterol is transported in the bloodstream in particles called the lipoproteins. Now, high-density lipoprotein,
HDL,
also called HDL, which is the good cholesterol, carry the cholesterol back to the liver for processing, while the low-density lipoprotein, the LDL, the bad cholesterol, delivers the cholesterol to the cells. So then we have it in the cells, right? Not good.
I think I have a lot of that bad cholesterol because my cholesterol is really too high. Last night, even a mosquito landed on me and bit me. And it grabbed its little tiny chest and I dropped dead. It just dropped right dead, that poor little guy. I didn't swat him either. So... Okay,
cholesterol is also important for immune function.
All right.
So it is involved in the regulation of certain immune cells, and it plays a very big role in the inflammatory regulation or inflammatory reaction.
Over my head.
So overall, cholesterol is a very important substance for maintaining bodily functions and health. High levels of LDL, what you're interested in, right? High levels of LDL cholesterol, the bad one, can accumulate in the arteries and increase the risk of cardiovascular disease.
Kind of waterproof, right? They're just lumps of glump.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's a little more to it, but yeah.
Do you know when the worst time to have a heart attack is, doctor?
When?
When you're playing charades. Don't do that. They won't help you.
All right. Why is LDL helping you getting a heart attack?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to have a heart attack.
Because it makes that plaque, and then over time, the plaques that are goopy, as you said, but they harden, and there's calcium deposits involved, and they make those arteries narrower and narrower, and that is then called atherosclerosis that can lead to a heart attack or stroke.
Atherosclerosis?
Yeah.
Atherosclerosis. How many people come in with bad how many people do you see as a doctor that have bad cholesterol? I mean, mine was, right? I was good. I was very healthy, but my bad cholesterol was a little higher than normal.
I don't remember I should have looked them up, but I don't remember. But if that's what you say. Now, we can actually, at where I work in the clinic, we do a so-called ABI, an ankle brachial index, where they take the blood pressure of the ankle and the ankle and the blood pressure of the arm, and then do the ratio. And if it is higher than 1.4, then it shows hardening of the arteries, which is atherosclerosis. And so then you're in a higher risk for stroke or heart disease, because if you have it in the periphery, there's no reason why you shouldn't have it further in.
Wow. All right. Well, many claim that heart attacks are the worst way to go. But I disagree, Doctor.
Why?
Grizzly bear attacks are definitely worse. Okay? You don't want to deal with that grizzly and go down. Okay. Well, thank you for kind of illuminating my mind on what cholesterol is. I still don't quite get it, but I think it's not as bad as everybody makes it out to be, right?
No, but it's very important too. Yeah.
So should I be following all the labels that say high cholesterol when it's, the little labels?
The thing that I didn't say is actually we make our own cholesterol. Well, I kind of alluded to that. We make cholesterol in our liver. We make it, right? Because we have to make the male hormone, the female, blah, blah, all the other stuff. Only about usually average-wise, 20% of the cholesterol that is floating around in our body is by food. 80% is us making it. Wow. So not everybody actually can lower their cholesterol by just eating no fat or no cholesterol, no meat.
So I look at sodium on the labels. I look at carbohydrates, right? Mm-hmm. But cholesterol, okay. Now we know a little bit more about what many patients, talk to you about their cholesterol. Yeah. All right. In the quiet, muted shadows beneath the largest and oldest trees on Earth, which are the North Coast Redwoods, soft voices are heard working as collaborators and stewards of this ancient forest. The Redwood Parks Conservancy... Right. I have trouble saying that word. I'll just refer to it as RPC.
All right.
Is the vibrant, fleshed out cast and characters of voices, and by all accords, it is an admirable organization. The RPC, the Redwood Parks Conservancy, is more than just a nonprofit. It's the heartbeat of protection of these gentle behemoths.
Behemoths?
The cholesterol got me off track.
Too high.
Giving those remaining old world wonders a renewed lease on their storied lives. Guided by a vision to foster understanding and preserving nature's wonder, RPC's work stretches from various visitor centers, forest floors, like the elevated walkways of the Grove of Titans, to the hands that clear trails and restore habitats. I might add that Dr. GiGi and I had some guests from Utah recently, and we hiked that amazing interpretive trail that leads to the Titans. It was fabulous.
Grove of the Titans, yeah.
In a symbolic partnership or symbiotic relationship, where am I? With Mother Nature's eldest children, the parks where they stand and the people that walk beneath these cathedral high wonders, they bridge the past and the present in a most magical sort of gallery. Mm-hmm. With the stewardship promised by RPC, these towering sentinels set within primordial forest will endure for generations yet to come. But isn't it nice that we live in one of the most wonderful, most beautiful, universe-kissed places on Earth, is it not?
Aww.
These giant redwoods slope and crash into the blue clamoring sea below, and I can't get enough of them. So, without too much verbiage from me, let's introduce this week's guest, who fit perfectly into Doc and Jacques' radio show missive of folks who excel at what they do best. So, Autumn Subers and Mark Abetz, welcome to the Doc and Jacques Radio Variety Show.
Welcome.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Yeah, GiGi, lead us off with some questions.
All right. I'm starting with the lady, Autumn.
Yes.
What is your title and position?
So I am the Redwood Parks Conservancy Volunteer and Transportation Director.
Woo, mouthful.
It's a mouthful, yes. I had to learn how to spell volunteer really quickly after I got that. So
excellent. Okay. And Mark, you?
I am the Redwood Parks Conservancy Events and Community Engagement Director.
Oh, so we can thank you for that music festival the other month.
Both of them, Conservancy. It's so simple when I hear
Yes.
Both of them, yeah, it was awesome. So, Autumn, where did you grow up?
I'm originally from Tucson, Arizona.
Ooh,
so the tallest cactus.
The tallest cactus? They're like 30 feet.
Yeah, they're pretty big, the Soros.
The Soros, yeah.
So moved from there to the tallest trees.
Oh, apparently. How long ago?
Well, that is another
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay. we love that.
I moved away from Tucson my first time when I was only 12, but I've traveled all over the United States. I moved here about 4 years ago from the Sacramento Delta area, a little town called Rio Vista on the Sacramento River. Not a lot of people know about it.
And why? How come? What brought you here?
About 8 years ago, my husband and I came up here on a vacation.
Yeah.
We actually shot for Gold Beach and landed there, and it was absolutely stunning. But on our drive down, we came through Brookings, and then we hit up the 197 and then the 199. And I immediately was like, there's something different about where we're at. And my face was, my face was glued to the car window as we're passing these walls of ferns, these amazingly large silver-barked trees that just blew my mind. And I immediately Googled everything and came back the next year to just the Redwoods. And then I came back again and again for 8 years.
Right on.
And just absolutely fell in love with this place.
Well, very nice. Cool. Yeah. Nice to have you here. How about Mark?
Welcome.
Where did you grow up and what brought you here?
All right. I grew up in Virginia.
Whoa.
Born in Washington, D.C. I grew up in the D.C. suburbs in Fairfax, Virginia. And the older I got, it seems like the further west that I have moved. Haven't lived in Virginia in quite a while. What brought me here specifically, I think Jacques did a great job in his introduction of saying why we really are here. These lands, those redwoods, that coast. And I have been involved with the parks and our public land almost the entire time since 1997. So it was natural for me when I was offered the opportunity to come here and work for Redwood Parks Conservancy. Wow. I didn't hesitate.
Did you say you came in 1997? That was?
I started working with with our public lands. In that case, it was a national park concessionaire in 1997. That was actually in Grand Teton National Park.
Oh.
Wow. So you've been around, slowly migrating west.
I have lived and or worked in 13 of our national park units.
Wow. Is this kind of the end all for you?
We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see.
I ended my career with the National Park Service last May, and like I said, this was a natural transition for me. It was a no-brainer to come here, and I had actually been eyeing these parks professionally for at least the last 5 years or so. So I was actually looking for an opportunity to come here. And
both want to be here. Very nice.
Absolutely.
I like that. So more generally, when was RPC founded?
All right. So in 2011, there was a merging of two different organizations, the North Coast Redwoods Interpretive Association, which was established in 1976, and also the Redwood Parks Association, established in 1985. So two of those supporting agencies came together in 2011, forming Redwood Parks Conservancy.
Cool.
Oh, very cool.
That's the short answer.
And it's a 501c3. It's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Right on. We like 501c3.
Do you have a mission statement?
We do. So our mission is to foster understanding, enjoyment, and stewardship by providing support to our partner agencies. And those are the National Park Service, California State Parks, the Bureau of Land Management, and the U.S. Forest Service, who are entrusted with the care of northern coastal public lands.
Wow. So it's encompassing more than just the redwood trees.
It sure is.
All right. And simply put, in layman's terms.
Yeah, layman's terms.
What are the
objectives?
Exactly. So really, I can use the parks for an example. To make a short version of their mission statement, it is to protect and preserve. So think about great example here. Think about protecting that last 5% of the old growth redwoods. Perfect example of what these parks, not just here, around our nation, are here to do. So what we do is we act in partnership. We are their supporting organization. We actually have a contract with them to act as their partners, and that is what we are proud to do.
So you're partners for that land strip or overall, because they're all overlapping jurisdiction people, right? Organizations.
That's for sure. And that certainly does come to play in our work. But a lot of that we leave up to them. There certainly is a difference between our partners, the organizations, but that overlapping.
The cool thing is protection doesn't just mean you put a net over it or you put it in a box, nobody can touch it. So it's the opposite, right? You make it accessible and informative, which is
well put, Doctor.
Yeah. Well, leading into that statement, kind of the way I like to describe it is Redwood Parks Conservancy finds an avenue for you, the visitor, you, the caretaker, you, the person who absolutely loves nature, to support these parks, whether that's through stewardship, right? That's part of our mission statement. And that's, coming to help with volunteer opportunities, donating money to the cause, like the Condor Restoration Project, right? Or to the outdoor schools. Whether that's through education or a really fun event where we're inviting you to come out and just experience these magical places with us. And that's going to cause you yourself to just fall in love even deeper. And typically when we love something, what do? We want to protect it. Yeah. We want to keep it around as long as possible.
Well said.
So we're really trying to create those avenues for you guys to come to the parks, to experience this place, to give back to it, to become an advocate, and to just really make this park something that our children's children will also be able to celebrate and enjoy.
And a lot of people take advantage of that. Man, when we went with David and
visitors
Lynn,
from Utah,
we saw, and whenever we go, there's so many people.
But that was on the last weekend of summer. That was the Labor Day, or was it?
There was Labor Day weekend. I think there were still a lot of people. Yeah, and they're not loitering. They are there with their maps. They're looking and taking pictures, and it's just...
The trail was amazing. Up there, all the way up there, amazing. And it's not busy like Yellowstone. It's not busy like Yosemite at all. So in that sense, it was fantastic. Is this operated? Is the RPC operated by a board of directors?
We are. We have a board of directors, 9 strong currently. Good. There are a few seats left open. So if anybody is interested in bringing their talents, and stuff like that, feel free to reach out to us or look into it on our website. We would love to.
And you're going to leave that towards the end?
Yes,
all the information, how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, get your pens and papers out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how has it changed overall since the beginning when it first began?
I can speak to that a little bit. I've only been here for 4 years. Mm-hmm. However, even in that 4 years, we've had tremendous growth in that, in the Redwood Parks Conservancy. I think a lot of it comes with when COVID happened. A lot of people rediscovered how important the outdoor spaces were.
Yeah, you're right.
For both happened to be when you were here.
Yeah, for both physical health, mental health, right? Yeah. Just needing some space and wanting to recreate. But a lot of these places that we recreate are typically indoors. These national parks are outdoors. You can walk around with each other, right? And when that happened, it created a need in the park, whether that's restoration, trail work, just all kinds of different things that needed more support as the amount of people came. So, yeah.
And then what happened? This is off the cuff, but 3 years ago we had the fires. Or was it 2.5 years?
It was 2.5 years. Yeah, that was wild, too, having that happen. Crescent City came together so beautifully, by the way, during all of that. So it didn't really overly affect the national and state parks or the Redwoods. They were just far enough away. But it did definitely hit the Smith River National Recreation Area. Anybody who travels the 199 corridor definitely
felt that. It was
shut
down for... We were isolated here for a long time.
Yeah, we really were.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you, Brookings, also for chipping in and supporting Crescent City during that time.
Are you constantly acquiring new land? Is it getting bigger? Is it getting better?
I don't think we're acquiring more land in that regard.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of. Is it getting better? Is it getting bigger? I think yes. There are some great projects that are going on within Redwood Parks. There is another agency that we partner with within the parks. They are called the Save the Redwood Leagues. And they have this amazing project going on in our parks. It's a Parks of Restoration called Redwood Rising. And we are going through certain areas of the parks that were cut down or clear cut at one point and then reseeded kind of aerially. So when the trees came back, they came back in way too much, too close together. Yeah, the forest floor was not healthy. There was not sunlight coming in to open up, the ground cover and supply all that we're used to. So Redwood Parks is working with Save the Redwood Leagues through this project called Redwood Rising to go through these areas and kind of thin back these too thick groves so that light can hit the forest floor, so that we can pull out logging roads that were built hastily over streams that were extremely important for salmon and different things like that. And salmon are actually very important to redwoods. They actually provide a lot of their nutrients. They're finding out more and more, which is amazing. Yeah. So a lot of these roads that came in, these logging roads, covered up these amazing salmon estuaries and these rivers and these creeks that they need to be able to get out there. So they're going through Redwood Rising and they're pulling this out. They're thinning back the forest. They're opening up the space so that, and this is my favorite little statement that I like to share with people, we're turning today's second growth into tomorrow's old growth. Wow. We are trying to bring back restoration to this park. We are trying to bring back a higher quality forest for people to visit. He said we're below the last 5% of old growth right now.
What is old growth?
So old growth is growth that has not been cut down and has just been allowed to flourish from the beginning.
Okay, so how old are some of the oldest trees? Do you know any of these statistics?
So that is a tricky question. One of the cool things about redwoods and what makes them really unique is that they form burls, and this burls has this amazing genetic makeup of that same tree. Mm-hmm. And if a redwood goes through a moment of panic, like a lightning strike hits it, a fire is nearby, something happens to this tree, it will set off a shoot of itself. It'll clone itself from the burl, right? Or from the ground, from one of its roots areas. And so when it does that, the main tree, the one that got injured, could potentially fall or could die off. But then you have this tree. Yeah. But that main tree could have already been there for 1,000 years, 1,500 years. And now you have the second, which is a clone that is now growing tall, that has also lived there for 900 years.
So
right? So is
it
2,700 years?
They deal with it. That's why they live so long. Maybe not the original one, but all the other clones coming up out of it.
It's the same genetic tree.
The way it's referred to is the same organism.
The same organism.
Now, do you know if these trees are primarily just found along the West Coast? Are they just usually right along the coast? I mean, so many of them are cut down the Bay Area where I grew up in San Francisco. They were all cut down.
Well, believe it or not, the redwoods did go all the way up into Canada at one point and all the way down to Los Angeles at one point. But they've been around, right, for a very, very long time. And as temperature changes, weather pattern changes, it dictates for these trees to move. And these trees are actually kind of nomadic. They've crept their way up the coast to put themselves in a situation and in a place that they're going to be the best that they can be. So they grow, and they're called a coastal redwood for a reason. They need the fog. They get about 60% of of their water during the hot summer months from the fog. So they grow within about a 50-mile deep band along the coast. Cool. They don't really go beyond that because the coastal weather will not reach that further and it won't support them. So any that you do see that are more inland, they're probably a little scraggly. They're not looking too good. But the ones that are closer to the coast are definitely thriving. As you see, if you come up to visit our parks, these trees are magnificent.
Fabulous. Yeah. Speaking of coastal redwoods, it is now that mid-break time. Believe it or not, time flies fast when we're having fun. It's already that mid-break time here on the Doc and Jacques Show, proudly broadcasting from the KCIW 100.7 FM studios in lovely coastal Brookings, Oregon. The list of major sponsors for your community radio station are Advanced Airlines, flying in and out of nearby Crescent City to Oakland and L.A. 7 days a week. Woo-woo. Michelle Buford with our own vibrant local Curry County Chamber of Commerce. Nick and Lisa Rail. and the PPA, or the Partnership for the Performing Arts. Remember, the big bad voodoo daddies are in the Azalea Park on the September 21st, Sunday in Brookings. Mm-hmm. Then there's the medical team at Checo Medical Anesthetics in Harbor. And lastly, my dear co-host, Dr. GiGi Reed, MD, and yours truly, Jacques Kepner. On behalf of KCIW, thanks to all of you. We are talking with Autumn and Mark about the Redwood Parks Conservancy. It's so simple when I heard you say conservancy. And they're telling us wonderful things about this incredible area in which we live and in which they are honored to work and deal with this unique biozone, this 50 miles inland. They used to go all up and down the coast. I know here in Oregon, there's just that one patch of redwoods just right near the border up the Winchuck River that I've been to. It's nothing like the big ones that you see, the Stout Grove or the Titans or the Boy Scout Trail. But we do live in an incredible area. Tell me, how do these, you asked about how do they survive the fires?
So sometimes you see they're called smokestacks when they get hit by a lightning or such, and then they burn for weeks. They just smoke, but then some of them survive. Well, and like the Old Smoky or something like that. Wasn't there a tree that was called that?
Old Smoky?
I think Old Smoky. It was like smoking for weeks.
I'm going to have to Google that.
Cigars or Cigars or cigarettes, was it?
Old Smoky. You got to find him.
It was vaping?
Old vapey.
Old vapey.
Old vapor.
So we'll find one 2026, Old vapey.
Look for the vape plow.
Yeah.
There we go.
But they are known that their bark is it's very hard to ignite, right?
Yeah, their bark as well as their wood, they have this stuff inside of them called tannic acid, and it's what gives them that red color. It also is what makes them rot resistant. It also makes them very slow burning.
And that's what is in red wine, right? Tannic acid?
Tannic acid.
Wow, I didn't think of genius, doctor.
Just at different levels.
Let's go drink some redwood tree wine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. I don't know if that would be safe.
Anyway.
So it definitely slows down the fire. It gives it a chance to burn out before it could really take over. You'll see a lot of the trees in the redwood forest with some burn scars, and
we have seen
those burn scars are from over 100 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
and they're huge.
They're still there.
Yeah.
If you actually go to some of these parking lots, I don't know, can I say Walker Road parking lot is not in? Is that in your conservancy? No?
Yeah, Walker Road's definitely within our border.
So if you go in there just by the parking lot, right next to it, or where the bathrooms are, can step on there's a big root, but then there is this big old stump people don't really realize often that that's a stump, and you can just step on it.
I thought it was a stage. A gigantic stage.
It is they're huge. If you just, when we see the big trees, that's big trees, but when you're actually stepping on it.
The reality, I guess, really to both of you and everyone out there, that 95 to 96% of the roads have been chopped down for use and then built to cities like San Francisco and the Bay Area and LA. And around the world, what an incredible wood it is, because it doesn't rot, or it doesn't have propensity to rot.
Now, is the new growth as cool in quality as the non-rotting old growth?
It is not. It is softer of a wood.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And it's not as rot resistant, right? So it doesn't make it as wanted, as the old growth.
As commercially appealing.
Thank you.
Certainly is still appealing to the visitors to the parks. We're still.
So why are they wimpier? Because they had an easier
average tree.
Yeah, than the average redwood.
They're not wimpy when you drive between Brookings and Crescent City.
No, not wimpy with the size. Wimpy in that they're not as fire retardant.
But all the trees in the corridor right near the Pelican Bay prison, when you drive down into Crescent City, that's all second growth. And they're pretty hefty.
They are hefty. They are quite large, but they are softer and less dense due to the faster growth rates of the new growth redwoods. And that, of course, makes them more susceptible to scratching and dents and then damage, which then can go into it and make it less desirable.
So they have a
commercial
easier living, so they can grow faster, right? So they were.
Yeah.
GiGi and I spent a lot of time at the Home Depot down in Crescent City, right? We'd get wood, and we see the prices of the redwood.
Yeah.
It's 5 times the amount of Douglas fir.
Yeah, especially if it's the heartwood, which is that solid, old growth, like more dense wood, as opposed to the sapwood, which is that, the faster growing wood and timber that comes out. So the old growth is what, right, those thousands of years is condensing that tree and making it very, very dense, right? So the new growths, they've only been shooting up in the last 100 years.
Yeah, sure.
So they just have not had that chance to.
Now, can you fell those trees? Is it legal to fell those trees?
Not in our parks. Our parks, they are safe. There are other areas, around Oric. There are other companies around here that still do fell trees, and they still do fell redwood trees, but they are definitely not like the old growth.
Not the old
protected
one. Yeah,
have here.
It's crazy. So it's still prime wood, right, for housing and other uses.
It is. The way that the newer wood is being used, the common, more modern uses are like outdoor structures, because it is more natural resistant, right? For siding and trim, again, for that resistance that we like. Agriculture details, just because it's really beautiful, right?
Yeah,
it is stunning. And then just landscaping, they use it a lot for mulching and things like that.
Mulching?
Like some of the older stuff, or wood that has already been fallen, things like that.
Do they put shingles still?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wood shakes shingles, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a lot of that. All right, Mark, I'll switch over you. I'll ask both of you this, but why does there have to be a Redwood Parks Conservancy?
Ooh,
Why? I mean,
have to be. Like I said, I've been around our public lands and have worked in various capacities since 1997, so quite a while now. And just the value of the support that an organization like Redwood Parks Conservancy gives to the state and federal lands. Looking at it, it is Redwood National and state parks that we're supporting here. We can support them in ways that they can't because of the fact that they are state or federal agencies and that can't necessarily support themselves. We're a philanthropic organization. They can't raise money for themselves. We can do that. That's that nonprofit end of it. Our proceeds go directly back to those parks. That's something that they can't necessarily, at least not easily, do for themselves. So we fill those gaps. So that's, talking about financially, something I always like to point out to people because, everybody, when we go into these parks and go into the visitor centers, we stop in the gift stores. Those gift stores generally are, I can't think of too many exceptions, are the supporting organizations like Redwood Parks.
And they're great ones, like the one that's up in, is it Hiuchi?
Yeah.
That is the greatest little store. It's actually pretty big. Mm-hmm. They got the interpretive center there, but that's run by the state park people, or is that the national park? The rangers that are there.
That's a fun question. Mm-hmm. So when you're in Redwood National and state parks, guess what? You're in Redwood National and some sort of state park, right? They are co-managed. They work together. So a lot of the times you'll go into those visitor centers, and if you look at the armband, you'll see a bear, which is the California State Park symbol, or you'll see a bison on the National Park's arrowhead. Oh. You're going to see one of each of them generally at each of our volunteer and visitor centers, each of our visitor centers, because we are co-managed. Now, there is more nitty-gritty. Some buildings are owned by such and such entity. Yeah. Some buildings are owned by such and such entity. Some are worked by, the state parks work this area, the national parks work this area. But what Redwood Parks Conservancy does is find a way for everybody to get what they need, because they all have their own rules and regulations, and we don't. So we're able to maybe help out to maybe fund a project that they're not able to fund, or we're able to keep a visitor center open when maybe something else has causing like a pause from the park partner agencies. So we're really able to kind of fill in gaps for our park partners, as well as, offer, again, those pathways into the parks from you guys, different ways.
So one time I bought a seedling, a redwood seedling, and actually we were going to take it to Utah, but then it didn't happen. So I planted it in Crescent City, and it kind of didn't make it. I just have to come back because it was supposed to support, the money that you paid, support. But it didn't make it. So you can't take it and build it up anywhere because it needs that fog and the surrounding, so I don't have to feel too bad that it happened.
Little Red passed away, you mean?
Oh, no.
Little Red. Oh, a little cute
Well,
thing.
fun fact about those little saplings, just so you know, they do bonsai well. So if you are somebody from Arizona and you have a 5-gallon bucket and you want your own little redwood, you can buy one of those saplings, learn how to take care of it, and bonsai it so you can have your own.
In Arizona even.
Yeah, in Arizona. As long as you have the water bill to cover it. You don't mind watering it, but yeah.
So my little sapling didn't make it into a Titan.
Little
But
red,
tell us a little
Titan.
bit about the Grove of Titans. I think that's the newest edition, is it?
It's definitely one of the newer, larger additions of the parks.
When we walked around and we saw all of a sudden there were signs and treads to walk on.
Bronze plaques.
All of the things.
And at the end there was a ranger person who you could ask questions and everything. Tell us, how did that come to pass? Who developed that, or when was it developed and why?
Sure. I'm going to try to give you the Cliff Notes version. One thing I think that we should definitely make sure that we point out is that the Jedediah Smith State Park is on the land of the Tolowa-Dani peoples. And they've known about these places, these special places, and taken care of them since time immemorial. But I will say the story that we know goes like this. In 1998, researchers Steve Sillett and Michael Taylor from Humboldt State University, a.k.a. Cal Poly, decided to go on an exploration trip. They eventually stumbled into the Grove of Titans from the backside. They went through on a search for looking for more of these large trees.
27 years ago. That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, my goodness.
So they made that, rediscovery, and then they gave this grove some names. Some of the trees that were out there that were a little extra large, just kind of special compared to the quote unquote regular
big
redwood
red
trees.
Yeah,
these are a little bit larger, and so they ended up naming these trees, and they ended up getting wider recognition. A book came out called The Wild Trees, written by Richard Preston, and it featured the grove in that book. And the book came out in 2007.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the internet is beautiful in some ways, but what it ended up doing was it fast forwarded the amount of people who went out to visit those trees. Okay. So by 2011, somebody had taken GPS coordinates and put them online and made a map to get to these named trees that are out there in the grove. And so what ended up happening in those short few years, over 8,000 miles of what we call social trails, 8,000 feet of what we call social trails were created. And a social trail is a trail that is created by individuals walking off trail repetitively to go see this thing, right? Whether it's a tree, whether it's a waterfall, whether it's, you name it. Right. At any other parks, you're going to see these social trails. So these social trails didn't have an ending other than to the trees. There are no bathrooms out there. So individuals would get out there, they would get lost. Yeah. They would use the washroom out there and leave their bits behind. They would leave their orange peels. They would leave all these things out there. And unfortunately, it escalated to a huge amount of damage happening out there. So what the parks ended up doing was raising a lot of money through a bunch of different organizations and closing down all of Mill Creek Trail. So the way people were accessing this trail was they would walk the Mill Creek Trail, then go off the Mill Creek Trail. The Mill Creek Trail is a 3-mile one-way trail that's been there, and they would walk off to access these trees. So we closed down the park, that particular section of the trail, for almost 3 years while we built up a system so that people could go and see these trees without accidentally loving them to death. Yeah. Right? Because that's ultimately why we're going there. We love this place. Yeah. We want to see these things. We want to take a memory back with us. We want to take a photo of such amazing things. But every time one person goes out and does that, they're thinking, it's just me, right? It's just me. I'm doing it. It's not that big of a deal. But I can tell you it's not just you. That trail sees up to 2,000 people a day in the busiest months. And if only 10% of those 2,000 people, just me, walked off the trail to go stand on, a downed log or the root ball of a tree, that's 200 people that are now damaging this thing that they're all coming there to love and support. Yeah. So we understand it's not being done out of malice, right? It's mainly being done out of ignorance. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad word. Being ignorant just means you don't know something, right?
Right.
So one of the things that ended up happening after they built that trail was they did a walk with one of the nonprofit groups, Save the Redwood Leagues, and invited some of their members to come enjoy this brand new walk right before the grand opening. And the individual at the time that hosted the hike was asked by one of the participants, hey, you've got this brand new trail. The story behind it is that people were walking off trail. Now we've got this lifted trail. But I can still think, in my mind's eye, I can still see people walking off trail. How are we going to protect that? How are we going to do this? And that particular individual said, you know what? We have thought of this. We're going to come up with a group of volunteers called the Titaneers. And their main goal is going to be to protect that grove, teach people about treading lightly, teach them the importance of staying on trail, enforce some of the park rules, like no dogs on trail, right? It's not that we don't love Fido. It's that there are critters that live in the Redwoods that don't live anywhere else, and Fido can live everywhere. Yeah. And we're scaring those critters off the trail, right? So we're there to educate people so that they can make better decisions when they visit the next public lands, their next favorite park, right? Maybe they can go home and prepare to take the next trip with a better view of what they're going to be leaving behind.
I'm shocked that this is all relatively modern history. This is, you said 2011, 1990s. This is just the past 20, 25 years. This has been going on. How long has that newest, greatest, latest, the trail was so well maintained. It was, we had walk over creeks with this beautiful iron grating.
Yeah.
No problem. It was a lot of fun. It blends well. Some beautiful photographics opportunities along the way.
Yeah.
I just think it's fabulous. People come to California all the time because why? They want to come to the surf. But we notice all the Europeans they come here, they want to see
the trees.
Now, they go down to L.A. and see the surf or whatever. They come up here, they see the surf too. But this is the added special thing of these huge, world's largest trees.
Yeah.
So good for that. And the Grove of Titans, everybody, if you have not walked it, walk it. It's phenomenal. It's just up the road 1.5 miles or so from Stout Grove. Yep. It's open year-round?
It is. It's open year-round unless, of course, the parks close it down due to heavy winds. Yeah. Redwoods are gorgeous in the rain, but they are terrifying in the wind. So make sure you always check the website to get your updates. They'll put down if the road's closed or if the trails are closed due to a downed tree or something like that, or due to a wind event. We're trying to make sure our visitors are safe.
Okay, cool.
But other than that, it is open year-round.
What are some of the biggest challenges? Mark, you've been around. You worked your way across this country. You've been working with the state and local and federal parks. And so what are some of the biggest challenges you face right here? Or maybe challenges and then maybe some of the best successes that you've seen in your time here?
Right. One of the biggest challenges is addressing changes. And right now, things are changing very quickly. They're changing in our society. They're changing in our communities. We talked about the pandemic and, what that did to the visitation of our parks and our communities. Now we're looking at the 250th anniversary of our nation next year.
Oh, my goodness.
And that is actually going to be a campaign to bring people out. Of course, one of the things that the America's Best Ideas as far as the national parks go. I don't want to, but really those challenges are things are changing. On our community level, with our visitors to the parks, visiting our partners, and things are always changing on the parks level, on the national level, on the state level. They have more money, they have less money, they have the same money as last year. And again, the value of having these supporting organizations. So, one of the biggest challenges is adjusting to that. And
so there's always going to be more people coming in, right? Or are there more bigger crowds coming in from all around the world?
Every year for the last 4 years that I've been working here, I can say it's almost doubled.
Yeah, so when we went last year or a year before, we went to the Hayuchi Visitor Center thing, and they had on the trash can, there was this little yellow sticker. And I thought, wow, that's really weird. Let's go read it. And it was from my tiny home area in Germany.
Das Land?
Das Land. They spelled it wrong, like Das Land or something. Yeah, so it's so weird. I mean, they felt that they had to put a sticker on the trash. So even though, you feel you're out in the nowhere, I grew up out in the nowhere over on the other side of the
in the
water.
Black Forest. You grew up in the
Black Forest. And they've been here. I saw the sticker. So people come here from everywhere. It's
from
amazing.
everywhere.
I was just floored.
Yeah.
And I sent home the picture and they said, yeah, that's from here. It's like, no, this is really special because we're over here now.
We've got about 4 or 5 minutes left. I want to touch on something. You are in charge of volunteer. You have primarily non-paid staff, volunteers. Do you solicit? Are you always looking for volunteers to come in?
Yeah, actually. So one of the ways that we have been able to support some of those challenges that we just talked about is by bringing together amazing volunteers, bringing together the community to come out and support these parks that they love. This year, we did several trail brush volunteer events where we brought people out on the trail. We did a little bit of light education, and we just chopped back the vegetation that's overtaking some of these trails so that way we can continue to use them, right? Yeah. We help with natural resource preservation by pulling invasive species. There are about 4 of those events every month. So you could go to our websites, you can follow us, and you can see these different events. We also host amazing fun events like the Candlelight Walk. We'll talk about that here in a minute.
Oh, but the Candlelight Walk.
Yes, it's a very magical event. If you guys have not come, you should definitely go. But we need volunteers to help us set that up for you guys to come and enjoy. So we utilize volunteers in a variety of ways in the parks, and we are always looking for Redwood volunteers.
And at the same time, you're always looking like
money donations.
Money donations. That's like KCIW here.
Yeah.
We're always.
Well, now I want to know about the Candlelight Walk.
Yeah.
So that is going to be our next larger fun event. The Candlelight Walk. We're going to have it the first weekend of November. I believe it's the 6th and the 7th. Am I correct on
7th and 8th.
7th and 8th. Friday and Saturday. What year? Is this our 36th annual Candlelight Walk?
Candlelight. Wow. Okay, so there's by November 7th and 8th, the forest is definitely wet enough again. To prevent any fires from people walking around with candles.
Well, we don't actually use real candles.
Okay.
We do light up the forest
I'm bringing them.
You can bring your own little handheld little lantern. We won't turn you away. But we do light up the forest floor, so it is a little bit more accessible for people who might have trouble seeing. And we do light up some of the redwoods so you can see them in all their beauty and glory.
So
yes, at night. So it's very twinkly. It feels very like holiday-esque. It's a different way of experiencing the redwoods.
Where is it at? Where is it going to be? Is it always changing every 36 years or same place?
Prairie Creek Redwood State Park.
Prairie Creek. Okay. How do I know that name?
It's part of the park.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's one of the state parks within the Redwood National and State Parks borders.
Okay. I don't know. I just got a brand new cell phone yesterday, and it's not shutting off. I've shut it off. It's shut off. It's brand new. It doesn't know what to stop. Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, the Candlelight Redwood Walk, is that what's?
The Candlelight Walk, yeah.
Candlelight Walk, November 7th and 8th.
Very cool.
Coming up. And how do people reach out to you? How does RPC, how can you be contacted?
Sure. You can, look at our website, redwoodparksconservancy.org. All of our events will be put up on there with descriptions and how to get there and maps. You can also look up volunteer opportunities on that page as well. If you happen to use social media, we have social medias.
Yep.
We have a Facebook page, Redwood Parks Conservancy, and we also have an Instagram page. We do put a lot of our events and call to action up on those, as well as just partner events that are going on.
And a website, which is what?
redwoodparksconservancy.org.
That's so simple,
yep.
right? So Facebook, everybody's into Facebook. Website, is there any phone numbers, anything like that you want to pass on, or just contact you through the website?
Just contact us through the websites. You could also email myself if you're interested in volunteering. Autumn, AUTUMN, at redwoodparks.org. You can email me with your interest, and we can see what fits for you and get you out there.
Okay, Autumn, AUTUMN, at redwoodparks.org. That's one way. And then we met you last year at that concert that was held out at the point out there.
Whalers Island.
Whalers Island.
Yeah, wasn't that fantastic?
You put that event on, right, with all the bands?
Yeah, we did. We put that on with the partnership of the Harbor.
We'll be doing that again next spring?
We're in the process of planning for 2026, so we'll let you guys know.
Try to do something like that again. That was
so cool.
A lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Mark, where do you see yourself in a couple of years? You looking forward to hanging out with the RPC?
I am looking forward to doing more with our park partners.
Right on.
Absolutely, and Redwood Parks Conservancy gives me a great opportunity to do what I'm passionate about, and that is just that, to support these parks. So I don't see that changing anytime soon for me personally.
Right.
And we talked about some of the challenges facing us. Successes is really finding new ways to address those challenges, new ways to raise money, new ways to support the parks. So I'm looking forward to some of those challenges and being able to do right by our park partners.
Right on. You are.
And Autumn, you're staying?
I hope to. Yeah. I absolutely love what I do. When you're working with volunteers, you're working with some of the most wonderful people on earth. They're giving in time. They're giving in their heart.
Right on.
I look forward to just finding more pathways to get people involved in the parks and educating people on how important this last little piece of old growth redwood paradise is, and just getting people impassioned and emboldened to take moves and steps on helping their public lands.
All right.
Autumn Subers and Mark Abetz. Listen, thank you for coming in and
you so much.
Illuminating what our PC or Redwood Parks Conservancy is all about. We really appreciate it. And anytime you hear about or have anything events coming up, come on in and make a recording. We'd be very happy to put you up on the radio. Yep.
I got one more shout out.
Yeah.
Our next volunteer event is happening up and down the whole coast of California, but the nearest one that I'm helping to host and put on, it's the California Coastal Cleanup Day. And it is this Saturday. And we are hosting a chapter in partnership with the state parks. And you can meet us if you'd like to help us clean up the beach at 9:30 a.m. this Saturday.
Where do you meet?
We're going to meet on Anchor Way right across the street from the House of Jambalaya, right there off of Whaler Island.
Michael and Jennifer.
Yes.
There we go.
Exactly. So you'll see our tent out there. You can come and just make sure you're wearing good shoes and ready to help us clean up this beach.
Let's do it.
Very
Folks,
cool.
Get out there and support this wonderful organization. Thank you so much, both Mark and Autumn, for coming in today, spending your time with us. We are fascinated by what you're doing, and we support you wholeheartedly. It's right up that time, right?
No,
we got to
we don't have our fun time.
Hey, do you know what causes black belt heart attacks?
What?
Carotid arteries.
All right.
Karate?
Yeah.
Okay. Darn it, that was bailed.
Yeah, that wasn't a good final. You have
Thanks
been
again,
listening,
guys.
everybody, to the Doc and Jacques show on KCRW 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. We hope you have enjoyed our show as much as we have today.
Yep. You've been listening to Doc and Jacques, and we are more than happy to hear from you. You can contact us by writing to docandjacques@gmail.com. Tell us about what's going on, folks. I'll see you in 3 to 4 weeks. Dr. GiGi's here taking good care of you.
Right, I'll be here.
Peace and love.
Bye-bye.
Bye.